She stepped into the lion's den in Madrid, and the entire tennis establishment started to panic. Thousands of screaming fans are literally blocking the walkways at the Caja Mágica. Major Spanish newspapers are churning out front-page headlines hour after hour. Security guards are struggling to control the crowds, all desperate for a single glimpse of a 20-year-old who just barely cracked the top 30. We're talking about Alex Eala, currently ranked number 29 in the world. But here's what should terrify every veteran on the tour. This absolute chaos isn't happening because of some lucky viral moment or fleeting internet trend. This is the direct result of a calculated takeover that's been quietly building for years. And what's happening behind those practice court doors is about to reshape the entire sport. To understand why the notoriously critical Spanish press is losing their minds right now, you have to trace back to where this all began. Eala didn't arrive in Spain as some random unseeded competitor. She's essentially returning home. Growing up and grinding through the grueling daily programs at the Rafa Nadal Academy in Mallorca means she carries that prestigious academy badge, and with it comes automatic respect from European tennis purists. They've watched her hit thousands of balls on red clay since she was a teenager learning the geometry of the court. Now combine that deep European respect with the absolute tidal wave of support from the Philippines. The Filipino fan base is one of the most passionate and fiercely loyal groups on the entire internet, showing up in massive numbers regardless of time zone. When you put those two powerful forces together, you get the perfect storm. On April 18th, video surfaced of her simply walking off practice courts after a hitting session. Within hours, those clips exploded across TikTok and Twitter, racking up millions of views just to watch her sign autographs and wave to the crowd. Global sponsors are scrambling for a piece of the action. Tournament organizers are overwhelmed by ticket requests for her practice sessions alone. The local sports media is already calling it the Eala effect. You have a young athlete beautifully bridging the gap between rabid digital fandom and the traditional European tennis establishment. But viral videos don't help you return heavy topspin forehands from the most dangerous players in the world. The real secret of this takeover lies in what's happening behind those exclusive practice court doors. The viral TikTok clips only show the glamorous scenes of Eala signing autographs for adoring fans. But what tennis experts are discussing right now is her absolutely terrifying training intensity. When you can share a practice court with someone like Iga Swiatek and hold your own in heavy baseline rallies, you're no longer just a student of the game. You're a threat. Reports from inner circles confirm she's been hitting with absolute heavyweights like Aryna Sabalenka. When you face someone who hits the ball as heavy as Sabalenka, you normally have two choices. Back up 5 feet behind the baseline and pray you can loop the ball back. Or take a massive swing and pray you don't hit the back wall. Eala chose a completely different third option. She stepped inside the baseline and took the ball immediately off the bounce. Taking time away from the biggest hitters in the game requires supreme visual tracking and fearless footwork. It sends a chilling message across the net that their absolute best weapon isn't enough to scare you away. Most 20-year-old players would step onto that court hoping to survive the hour without embarrassing themselves. Eala steps onto that court to actively dictate the rhythm of the rally. She's taking heavy incoming pace and redirecting it with surgical precision that frankly terrifies the older generation. She absolutely refuses to be pushed back into the fences. This extreme physical evolution connects directly to her historic Miami Open victory, where she walked onto blistering hard courts and systematically dismantled the world number one. It wasn't luck based on her opponent having a bad day, it was masterful tactical execution. But translating aggressive hard court success to slow European clay is the single hardest transition in professional tennis. Many incredible hard court specialists spend entire careers looking foolish on dirt. They slide too late, mistime their swings, lose mental patience during exhausting 20-shot rallies. The clay court transition exposes every mechanical flaw hidden in a player. This is exactly why her current Madrid training block is raising red flags for top tournament seeds. Raw footage leaking from her private camp shows a player who has perfectly adapted her explosive lateral movement for demanding clay. She's sliding beautifully into open stance forehands with fluid grace you usually only see from legendary Spanish clay court champions. She's visibly bulked up her lower body strength to generate massive topspin from extreme defensive positions deep behind the baseline. The athletic violence she's unleashing on practice courts completely contradicts her smiling social media persona, creating terrifying cognitive dissonance for future opponents. A profound message recently surfaced from her father that sent shivers down the spine of the entire circuit. He stated that if you truly want to become a lion, you must willingly live inside the dangerous lion's den. He proudly proclaimed his daughter is currently a rapidly growing lion. This psychological framework completely reframes how we must view her entire trajectory. The absolute media chaos surrounding her in Madrid isn't an annoying distraction she's forced to deal with. It's an electric environment she actively craves and deliberately engineers. While other highly ranked players hide in quiet hotel rooms trying to protect their fragile mental peace, Eala deliberately stands in the middle of the hurricane. She's feeding off the chaotic energy of massive crowds. Every flashing camera and screaming fan serves as fuel for her competitive engine. This is advanced psychological warfare incredibly rare to see in someone so young. Most teenage stars completely crumble when international spotlight hits them. They tighten up on crucial second serves, second-guess their natural shot selection, collapse under crushing weight of expectations. But Eala uses that exact pressure to elevate her focus. The rare capacity to embrace absolute chaos is a massive, unteachable competitive advantage. When a crucial match gets complicated and the scoreboard gets tight, the player who feels most at home in stressful situations almost always wins. Imagine stepping onto the stadium court at Caja Magica to play her. You don't just have to beat her heavy topspin forehand, you have to beat thousands of screaming fans, relentless Spanish media, the immense weight of an entire Asian nation cheering for your downfall. She weaponizes the surrounding environment to suffocate opponents before they hit the first ball. Older veterans can sense this shifting dynamic. They know playing Eala is a dangerous trap. If they win, they simply did their job beating a 20-year-old challenger. But if they lose, they become another viral victim in her internet highlight reel. The psychological tension is entirely one-sided. She has nothing to lose and everything to hunt. She's stalking vulnerable top seeds with fearless aggression of an apex predator taken off the leash. The numbers never lie. Reaching world number 29 by age 20 puts her in an exclusive class of elite athletes. We're looking at a developmental curve that mirrors some of the most dominant legends the sport has ever seen. Over the last 6 months, her first serve percentage jumped from a vulnerable 58% to a commanding 68%. That statistical leap completely changes the fundamental math of a professional tennis match. She's no longer starting service points, scrambling on defense. She's immediately taking control with the first strike. Her return of serve against top 10 players has transformed into a lethal weapon. Instead of blocking heavy spin back safely, she's stepping inside the baseline to take second serves exceptionally early, stripping away crucial recovery time and forcing opponents to hit while completely off balance. The precision is absolutely surgical. Most young players hate the grueling demands of red clay, growing up on fast hard courts where flat hitting is rewarded. When they step onto slow European dirt, their game falls apart. But Eala flipped this weakness upside down. She fundamentally altered her racket path over winter training. By dropping her racket head extra inches below the ball, she generates massive topspin that kicks up into opponents' shoulders. This mechanical adjustment neutralizes powerful players who rely on flat speed. When heavy spinning balls kick above your shoulders, you can't hit down with power. You're forced to pop it back up, and Eala is waiting to crush the short reply. It's a mathematical trap she executes flawlessly, and veteran players have no reliable answer. Here's the insight mainstream commentators are missing. The current elite top 5 rely on a specific defensive pattern under pressure. When pulled wide on clay, they use heavily sliced defensive shots to buy time for recovery. Eala has engineered her court positioning to exploit this predictable habit. Instead of retreating after hitting sharp angles, she moves forward to the service line, catching slow defensive slices as swinging volleys before they bounce. She turns their safest defensive mechanism into immediate winners, stealing fractions of seconds from the fastest athletes in the world. The media earthquake in Madrid is just the opening act of a larger story. Eala is proving she doesn't want to be a great regional player or just the pride of the Philippines. She's methodically rewriting the global power structure of professional tennis. We're witnessing real-time creation of a completely new kind of sports superstar, one who combines viral internet power with cold athletic efficiency of a winning machine. She's carrying the emotional hopes of millions, but wearing that weight like titanium armor rather than crushing burden. Kids across Southeast Asia are picking up rackets today because they see themselves reflected in her success. She's breaking geographical barriers in a sport historically dominated by Europe and North America. The competitive landscape is shifting beneath our feet, and established champions are suddenly looking over their shoulders at a fearless 20-year-old who refuses to blink first. The lion's den at Caja Magica is set, and the entire world is watching to see what she does next. Will this historic week in Madrid officially crown a new champion and permanently alter tennis hierarchy? Because if her father is right about living in the lion's den to become a lion, then the hunting season has officially begun, and nobody on that tour is truly safe anymore.